Welcome to the American Nephrology Nurses Association's 50th Anniversary podcast series. In this commemorative series, past presidents and other leaders of the American Nephrology Nurses Association will provide a rich history of the association itself and of nephrology nursing as a specialty nursing profession. The American Nephrology Nurses Association's 50th Anniversary podcast series is brought to you by the Nephrology Nursing Journal, the official journal of the American Nephrology Nurses Association. We are honored to present this episode, and we hope you enjoy these invaluable and enlightening nephrology nursing recollections.
Hello, my name is Karen Robbins, and I'm the Associate Editor of the Nephrology Nursing Journal and a past president of A&A. Today, it's my honor to interview Norma Gomez, who served as president of A&A from 2013 to 2014. I want to thank you for talking with us today about A&A and nephrology nursing, Norma.
Thank you. I'm pleased to be given this opportunity to share my experiences.
Great. So why don't we start with how you became a nephrology nurse and how did your nursing career launch?
Well, I was working at a local community hospital on the med-surg floor and was speaking with one of the nurses that worked there part-time. Her full-time job was a home training nurse at a local dialysis unit. And at the time, I was thinking of returning to school for my bachelor's degree. And the dialysis job was 3 days per week. And I thought, wow, this is really ideal for returning to school. But my knowledge of dialysis up to that point had been watching a peritoneal dialysis exchange with the big bottles in an ICU. So I was a little concerned. But I did go for the interview. I took a walk through the center, and that time they were doing the home training, and I was just enthralled with the whole process. And really, to let you know how old I am, the reason they were looking for a dialysis nurse is because they were planning to start taking in-center patients, because the new 1972 amendments to the Social Security Act that extended the insurance to people with chronic kidney disease had just passed. And they were planning to continue training patients for home during the day and dialyzing the in-center patients at night. So I got the job, I finished training, and opened one of the first in-center shifts in the area. And it was an interesting time. Unfortunately, it seemed like we started getting more in-center patients than home training, but I eventually transitioned to the day shift and did the home training and really have just worked in nephrology since then. I've tried to leave twice, but missed nephrology and came right back into nephrology.
Throughout that time, you obviously became involved in A&A and increasingly so through the years. Tell us about your role as president of A&A and nephrology nursing, what it was like at that time.
So historically, the governance of the structure of A&A had been regionally based. The regional vice president served in a dual role as a line officer for the regional officers and chapters in their region, and as board members, they made decisions that impacted A&A on a national level. So during my term, we were implementing the new governance structure of one A&A. And of course, the chapters were concerned that they may not be given the support they received under that regional structure. So the A&A chapter support team, or ASSIST, was formed to provide focused support for each A&A chapter. So it was like a 9-member team, and they were assigned 10 to 11 chapters. And the ASSIST leader reported directly to the board through a board liaison. And as part of that transition, the ASSIST team, led by Alice Luer, developed what they called Fast 15s. These were short presentations, 15 minutes or less, that were for the chapter officers that provided direction on all the tasks and responsibilities that chapters needed to remain certified. And this was an invaluable support system and continues to be an invaluable support system to our chapters.
Well, it's great that you were so cognizant of maintaining the support for chapters, because the organizational chart for A&A has always had the membership at the top of the organizational chart. So this transition to a national focus took into account the need to support that and provide a means by which that could be done. So that was really well thought out. Also, during the presidency, I believe this was the year that you started something that was another way to connect with the membership and get feedback from members directly to the board.
It was part of for the year, we really had the slogan, taking action. And so at the Nephrology Nurse Recognition Dinner that we had that year in Las Vegas, we asked the members to provide us feedback on, the services, products, projects, anything that ANA should start to do, stop doing, or continue to do. And we had almost 300 suggestions just from that meeting. And we had some of our local members who audited the board meeting really help us divide all this information and review it. And so we looked at the top issues. And one of the issues, interesting enough, was that they wanted to have the town hall separate from the educational sessions because they thought that that would make the business meeting more meaningful. So that, I think it was the 45th National Symposium in Anaheim, we did hold a standalone event at the end of the day, and we were surprised that we had so many people come and attend the meeting and give us some great ideas. So we continue to do that, and I think it's really important to hear from the membership, and a lot of times we have some great ideas on things that we should start doing.
Well, that was really a great idea to connect with the membership and hear from the members what they need. So thank you very much. What was the biggest challenge for nephrology nursing, or ANA during your presidency, Norma?
I really think health policy is always an issue, and we want to make sure that the right people hear our message. ANA has always held a biannual health policy workshop, and this workshop, the attendance is really limited because of space and being able to make appointments to go onto the Hill. So we thought a great way to get everyone involved was to hold what we called a virtual lobby day. And this concept allowed members in their hometowns to participate when our leaders went to visit Capitol Hill. We encouraged letter writing to their members of Congress. We provided directions on how to tweet and how to add posts to Facebook. And the one thing we did is we encouraged our members to contact their state legislators on Virtual Lobby Day, because we all know that decisions regarding nursing practice are made on the state level. So this provided our members the opportunity to advocate for nursing and for patients with chronic kidney disease on more of a local level. And it was a great success and did continue.
So it sounded like your year was certainly one of transition into the electronic age for ANA. Can you tell us about some of the other things that happened during that year, such as the Nephrology Nursing Journal?
Yes, we had heard from some of our members that, they'd like to have the journal online. So we really looked into that ability to provide that for them. And we looked at the cost. We would have to change printers to be able to do that. But we were cognizant that some of our members really liked the ability to go online. We looked into how our members are really using the journal, and we found out there are quite a few people who want to continue the print copy, really like to have that touch of the print, and I am one of those. But when I saw what you could do with the online journal, that you read an article, and then on the references, you can just click on the link in the reference, and it will take you to the reference directly. And so to me, it was kind of like one-stop shopping. This became one-stop reading because you didn't have to stop reading the article and go and find the reference. It was just a quick click. I think it was really great, and we've gotten really positive feedback from our membership.
And the ANA update went online that year as well?
Exactly. And that was some concern, too, from our chapters. Wanted to make sure that we could get the pictures like we had in the update, so that we continue with the color pictures of all our chapter activities.
Well, that's great. Also, during your presidency, ANA began to work with nurse-sensitive outcomes and actually had a task force. So can you share some of that with our listeners, please? That's
correct. We really feel that the nurse-sensitive indicators provide a better understanding of the contributions registered nurses and our advanced practice registered nurses make to healthcare. So these nephrology nurse-sensitive outcomes are critical in measuring and demonstrating the positive impact nephrology nursing has on patient care. And it's not only important for the nephrology nurse, but for administrators and policymakers so that they can identify and promote better nursing practices. And they can even be used to guide staffing and workplace decisions, and really move us toward defining standards of care that are evidence-based. Because as you know, in our scope of practice, we don't really have evidence-based guidelines. We have processes of care because we don't have the evidence to develop the guidelines. So with this project, we were recognized by the American Nurses Association, and we were invited to their Ambulatory Measure Summit, where they looked at all the National Quality Forum, the NQF endorsed measures, and how they related to nursing care. And it was a great experience, and it was another way for us to get ANA's name out there into the outcome environment. Well, that was great to have been able to participate in the bigger world of nursing with the American Nurses Association.
Taking a step forward, where do you see the future of nephrology nursing and A&A heading?
Well, I think nephrology nursing is a specialty that's unique and really allows the nurse autonomy of practice. And we need to make sure we identify the impact nurses have on patient outcomes. We need the more evidence-based studies on how nephrology nursing can improve care. So as nurses in practice, we can no longer ask for the easy way out with just asking, okay, just give me a checklist that I can do, because then we lose our critical thinking skills. I think it's so important for us to hone those skills so that we can continue to impact patient care. I'm afraid if we continue to, again, look at the easy way out, just give me a checklist so that I'm doing my task, that we're going to be giving away our practice because we're so busy and so stressed. So we really need to make sure that we focus on the work environment.
Okay, and there's certainly been an increasing focus on that in the last few years.
Absolutely.
And we need to continue with that. Since you finished your presidency, what kind of pathway has your career taken? Was it influenced by your experiences in A&A?
Oh, absolutely. So I've been a nephrology nurse for the majority of my career and a member of A&A for over 45 years. I can't believe that. So A&A has provided me the resources I needed to do well in my career. And I took advantage of the scholarship process to complete my graduate degree in nursing. And I was lucky enough to have many A&A mentors along the way. So I think my nephrology nursing career has been enriched because of my membership and service in A&A. And I know I'm a better nephrology nurse because of my involvement with A&A.
Very good. So are there any additional things you'd like to share with our listeners?
Again, I think it's important for everyone to be involved in the professional association. When I was a member of the medical review board and they would ask me to go out and do some surveys at some of our centers, I would find the centers that were not doing well. The nurses were not aware of A&A, did not know about any of the resources and benefits that we had. And so once I introduced them to A&A, they were just so pleased that they had the support from other nephrology nurses to help them with improving their center.
Do you have any comments you'd like to share with us about the nephrology nursing scope and standards of practice, of which you've been the editor?
Thank you. That continues to be a great project. Again, we continue to look at the outcomes and make sure that they relate to our patient care. And I think one of the big things that we've done is Deb Kastner did a section on ethics. And I think that's an important part of nephrology practice and, continues to be. And we will be updating it again in the next year or so. So I'm looking forward to seeing what ANA does, if they make any changes in the standards of practice.
Well, that's something we will look forward to. This is certainly a valuable resource that I hope nephrology nurses use and have highlighted and pages dog earmarked, and it's a living resource for them.
I hope soon that if we continue to have some evidence-based practice studies and research, that we'll be able to put out some guidelines of care.
Well, Norma, I'd like to thank you for speaking with us today. This is Norma Gomez, who is the president of A&A from 2013 and 2014. And I just want to thank you for your years of service and leadership, your leadership as president of A&A, as well as your leadership in so many other facets of the organization. You have contributed a great deal to the association as well as nephrology nursing. So thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Really appreciate it.
The American Nephrology Nurses Association's 50th anniversary podcast series is brought to you by the Nephrology Nursing Journal, the official journal of the American Nephrology Nurses Association. This series is owned and produced by the American Nephrology Nurses Association. All rights reserved. No portion of this podcast may be used without written permission. For archived episodes of this podcast and to learn more about the American Nephrology Nurses Association, visit the association's website at annanurse.org. You can also subscribe to this podcast on iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, our hosting site Spreaker, and other various podcast delivery services.